Welcome, everyone, to the LITECAST on the CF After Dark Network. Happy football month, by the way. Welcome to August. It finally feels like, football's in the air, Matt. Football's in the air. I'm Austin Keeney, joined by Matt Nelson, as always. We got Chris P. Wiener watching the show. We've got Jackson
Chris
Pence
Wiener.
It's a good night. Good night. We got a whole bundle of topics to get through.
He starts with Tad Ekby, like I knew he would.
Yeah, Matt. Well, first off, we're delayed a couple of minutes here getting the show started because you had to yell at your kids. But did everything get squared away? Got everybody to bed?
I did.
All right. This is the kind of operation we're running on here. You know, we can't start the show until the kids
probably not. But I can at least say that I tried. How does that sound, honey? If you're listening, I did my best.
When you've got that many of them, you know, it's a losing battle every time, isn't it?
We're outnumbered 2-1. Actually, that's sinking in a little bit more each day. Keeney, how are you doing? How's the family? Everything good?
Yeah, still, just the one kid that's 3. Whoever said terrible 2s, by the way, was lying, because I think 3 is way worse than 2. I don't know what your experience is, Matt.
No doubt, like 1,000%. Terrible 2s is false. It's like the terrific 2s. I call them 3-nagers, Keeney. They are just little tyrants, right? Like 3-nager is a great description. There's no question.
We got enough personality now that we can kind of like push back and just be really mean to Dad whenever anything doesn't go the way we want. But I don't know, man. It's been a good summer. Pulled tomatoes out of the garden, BLTs for dinner. You know, that's a good sign. Feeling good. Yeah, but we got a whole bunch of stuff to get to tonight. Do you want to jump right in? Maybe we should start with what we're drinking tonight.
Oh man. Not a sponsor. Would love it if they were. This is a Drift from Westo. Keeney, it's like a 95 calorie, like 3% IPA. So if you're like me and you like hazy IPAs, but you don't need to get bodied in the mouth by an 8%er on a random Tuesday night, you can have one of these guys. It's great.
It's kind of, so you do you can have more than one of those on a Tuesday if you want. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it tastes great, but it's like, if you ever had like one of those stiff IPAs, Keeney, where you can tell there's some booze in this beer. You ever had one of those?
Oh yeah. I mean, I love them, but yeah, definitely. It's like,
it's the same.
Have one of them.
It's the same flavor, but it feels like somebody like muted it. Where up front, you're like, this tastes like an IPA, but on the back end, it's like, where to go? Because you're not getting hit with, all the IBUs and, some of those 7. I mean, my fridge is full of 7-8% IPAs back there, which I love. And depending on how the show goes, you might see me get one out. But this is kind of a nice little sipper. And I think you are going a little bit more mainstream.
Yeah, also not a sponsor. Could be a sponsor if they wanted to.
Would love him to be.
The Anheuser-Busch company here.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Busch Light Lime, great summer beer. I'm lime beer guy over here. So we got ISU Bucks on Twitch is drinking a rum and Coke. Love that. Watching the show. Donnie Rickles is here.
That for him.
All of our favorite people are here. This is, Jackson Pence's favorite After Dark show, which we love to hear. So
yeah, and
I should say, we are sponsored by the Iowa Distilling Company, though. So Prairie Fire 1858 vodka. We love our sponsor over there in Cumming. Go to the tap room, have some great cocktails, get the spirits in store. You know the deal.
Tad Ekby, I don't know where you are. I hope you're having a beer as well. Tad Ekby, not a sponsor. Could be. Would love that.
You think?
Go ahead.
You think that like Tad Ekby's just like going through life and people just kind of say his name sometimes?
Does he know that like Jackson Pence wakes up at 2 a.m. with a cold sweat and just sits upright and shouts Tad Ekby? Maybe not.
I hope so. I hope he's watching the show. If you're watching the show, comment. We'd love to have you on sometime.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on the show. Quick shout out to Lee, longtime listener of this show. Talked to him today and wanted to. Man, Keeney, I love it when it's like a subtle thing where you're talking to someone about something totally unrelated and they go, hey, by the way, like I watch the show, an episode I watch every time, whatever it is, it makes us smile and it means a lot to us. So I love that.
Happened a couple times out in the wild,
Yeah.
It happened to me at the bank one time. Someone said, "Oh, hey, I recognize your voice from your podcast." Okay.
Was it a lender? Like, hey, give me that loan. You watch the show. That's great. No,
Give me that. Give me
like
an interest rate. We got a deal. I'll shout you out on the show. We
need
got
like a Keeney. We need like a code word or something that only a listener of this show would know, so we know if you're a true believer, a true listener. If you like happen to drop that word, I mean, I get asked every now and then about the bit about a certain professional sports player whose father may or may not have faked his own death. We don't have to talk about that any further, though.
This is a live show, so I don't get the privilege of editing out all of Matt's inappropriate comments after the fact.
Donnie Rickles. But you know what? Donnie Rickles should just be. If you know who Donnie Rickles is, we know that you watch this show. How about that, Key?
Do you see the coaches poll at all today? Maybe we'll talk about that real quick.
Let's do that.
Give me a second to pull it up.
Poll. I mean, I saw, I didn't look at it in depth. I believe there were 3 Big 12 teams in it. I know I saw Utah lurking around the back. Let's see. We've got BYU 15th. We had Texas where's Texas Tech? They're 12th. Oh gosh, what are we doing putting Oklahoma 9th? Why?
There has been a lot of discussion about the SEC just clogging up spots in the poll. So we got the poll over here. 9 SEC teams in the preseason top 25. Of course, everybody in the SEC has the toughest schedule in the nation. It's I lost Matt. All right. Well, you guys know the deal, right? ESPN owns the SEC. ESPN owns the FPI. They own strength of schedule. Matt's back. Here we go. Anything?
They own everything.
Except for the Big Ten. So I'm actually a little surprised that Ohio State and Oregon are leading the way in the poll. Did anything stand out to you? Anybody looking a little overranked, a little underranked?
Okay, like this is gonna sound bad, but I appreciate where the Big 12 is at. I think if Tech had a more clear quarterback situation, they would clearly be ranked higher. But I like Houston being 24th is a good sign. I mean, Keeney, they went 10-3 for Pete's sake. Now, Keeney, was that a good 10-3 or a weak schedule 10-3 last year?
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, but they brought everybody back. There's reasons to be optimistic about Houston.
Yes. Like I think BYU. Thanks, Donnie. I think BYU.
I will say, by the way, we've got tech upgrades. We're like running a almost professional operation here now.
It's true. Can I talk about the few ones that really made me giggle?
Is Iowa one of them? Do you want to start there?
I was at it's the 2. They are the Spider-Man meme. Pointing there, it is Spider-Man meme from the Big Ten and the SEC. Iowa checking into the coaches poll at like 23, and effing Missouri checking in at 25. Mm-hmm. Every preseason, it's the same thing. Specifically with Missouri, somehow, no matter what happens the year prior, Missouri is always 25th, always, right? Because the SEC gets to count that as a ranked win. It's the same crap every year. And as far as I'm concerned, they do the same thing with Iowa. So don't get me started on the bottom of this poll.
Like Iowa, let's be honest. We kind of know the deal with them. By the way, today is August 4th on the calendar, 8-4. It's Happy Kirk Ferentz Day to you, Matt. 8-4. Get it?
8-4.
Yeah. So they're probably going to end the year around 22nd in the final poll. They're going to go 8-4 against their schedule. They got a bunch of hard games early on, and they'll probably end up ranked somewhere in that range. But like, I don't get it. They lost so much production. They don't have a quarterback. Like, I don't get it, and I'll probably have to eat my words in September. Who knows? They'll probably end up somewhere around there, but I don't get the preseason love about them. I really don't.
I don't get LSU being in the top 15.
We're just trying to will that one into existence.
Correct.
They're the transfer portal all-stars. They get the big bump there.
I think USC being in the top 15 is also just okay. That's USC. We've got to put them 14th. No evaluation.
It's Lincoln Riley. It's the quarterback that comes back. But I like BYU should be probably better than them.
BYU 12-2 to be behind a 7-6 and 9-14 from last year when everybody ahead of them has at least 10 wins. And
Alabama's also up there on the fringes
actually,
of the top 10 when
yeah,
they
funny story.
yeah.
Outside the top 12, there's only 3 schools that have more than 10 wins. Want to know what league they all play in?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. They're all Big 12
Big 12.
teams.
All Big
Now
12
Utah
teams.
does have a new coach.
Yep.
And we talked about Houston, kind of a soft 10-3 last year, but I don't know. They're a fringe top 25 team. It's interesting to look
Right.
at. The AP poll is what's going to come out, and we put some importance on that one. I mean, it's all subjective right now.
Clemson being in there at 7-6 is like, did they really need to be ranked?
I don't think anybody likes Clemson coming into the year too. Like,
no,
there's more talk about Dabo losing his job than there are about like Clemson being good this year.
Yeah, and that's actually why I've got this tropical shirt on. We're gonna have a little bit of fun with some preseason Cancun rankings here later. Which, Chad, I want to see some love for Cancun. And if you have any suggestions for coaches, we need to already put on like TSA pre-check for Cancun. They're already cleared. They're on standby. Maybe
some of them are going to get buyouts and they're flying private. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. They're going to charter something. That's
so we're doing flight tracker. Check the private jets. But
we'll come up with a graphic with some planes and a runway and a beach in the background for Cancun watch. That's our commitment to you all.
Let's jump into some of the stuff that we wanted to talk about tonight, though. I mean, the big thing that kind of broke at the end of last week was these rules about eligibility and the class of 2022 all of a sudden being eligible to play again, because some judge in Colorado declared an injunction that allows everybody to come back for a 5th year if they want to. Matt, any reaction to that? I wanted to get our thoughts out about that. Is it just a general shrug of the shoulders, like, what are we doing here?
What does it even mean? Are these people going to actually be eligible? Or is some other injunction going to swoop in this fall and change it immediately? I've already seen so many people re-enrolling. I think I just saw a really good D-end is going back to Indiana now.
Right. They play their first game in like 5 weeks, and they're adding guys that are not supposed to be eligible to their roster right now.
Yeah, and they're eligible now because of an injunction, but are they actually eligible?
I don't understand.
If they get ruled ineligible, but if they get ruled ineligible in season, does Indiana have to forfeit those wins?
That's a great question. Maybe they're putting pressure on the schools to say, hey, go ahead and play these guys if you want, but we're going to penalize you if you do. I mean, there's the obvious Iowa State connection here. Should shout out that, Tamin Lipsey would theoretically be eligible to come back. I mean,
he would.
Seems like he kind of put that to bed. I would recommend you listen to him on the Let Him Cook podcast with our friend Dylan and Nigel. He was on there this week. That came out today. Great listen. Always great to hear from Tamin. He kind of poo-pooed the idea that he would come back, but I guess I don't want to put words in his mouth. It seems very unlikely, but I don't know, man. At some point, there's got to be some actual framework around okay, who's allowed to play and who's not. It seems crazy to me that we're Iowa State filled out their whole basketball roster, and then, by the way, we're 2 months out from when you start practice or whatever, and you can add players if you want. And everybody has that option now. There's a bunch of guys that are going to try and chase a paycheck because they can't play in the NBA, trying to come back to school again. Guys that got picked in the NBA draft but haven't signed their contracts yet, saying, oh, well, I'm probably going to come back to school. Just what are we doing, Matt? What are we doing?
The dumb thing is now we're all basically just dependent on the Protect College Sports Act to pass, because the reality of not having a framework leaves us all in just a horrible spot.
Which the Protect College Sports Act, the federal legislation the Big Ten and the SEC just went in there and basically rewrote the thing and is going to pass probably, and they're going to get everything they want. I would just like to come into the season without any question marks about oh, hey, by the way, in the middle of the year, you might be able to add somebody, or somebody that you're going to play could add somebody, and just throw the whole thing out of whack. I don't know. We need to be able to say, after August 1st, you're not allowed to add anybody to your football team or basketball team or whatever. Something's got to give at some point.
Yeah, the in terms of like what they wanted, they got. So the Super League like protection is still in place where they can't, for the Big Ten, it'd be one more team. That does not apply to the smaller leagues. The big thing that it removed was the ability to pool media rights, which is what a lot of the smaller leagues wanted, and the big ones obviously did not. I would say the other big thing is the cap.
The bill would never pass.
Oh, that was never good. No, the other big one was the cap. Right now being essentially 47 million. Of that 47, a certain amount of that is devoted to keeping the current players on your roster. 5 million of that is peeled out to Olympic sports. So of that, I would say like true like headhunting that you can use to like bring in new players is probably like 15 to 20 million. So because I would have to think that was part of the issue, Keeney, as you're talking through this, is we want to throw all these money at guys in the portal. Leads to a weird spot where the guys in your team that you maybe kept for cheap, if you're a big school, cheap might be $500,000 to $1 million, but when somebody else is coming in making 7 or 8, leads to some inequity pretty quickly. So I like that it's at least like Ohio State can't use all 40 million to just bring in new players every year. They have to keep people on their roster, and they changed the transfer restrictions, which I honestly think, Keeney, is probably one of the biggest things in this whole deal that will slow down some of the monetary spend, because other than your coach leaving or getting some sort of like code of conduct violation, like harassment or something like that, it really closes it down to what, one time transfer. That alone, I think, will stop the insane money from flowing about, right? Like say you've already done your transferring and you're out of school, they can use retention money, but another school can't come by and lure you out and say, okay, here's Jalen Rayner would be a good example, Keeney, right? Like
he's already for a 5th year if he wants to, based on the new rules. Yeah, if he plays really well this year,
right? But he's already transferred, so Auburn can't come in and say, Jalen Rayner, here's $6 million, come be our quarterback.
Right.
If the new rules
if this passes, yes. If this gets into place,
so. I think that's actually a really good spot to be. I don't like that we had to bend to those other two, but Keeney, at this point, I'm willing to compromise a bit because 1, I like the Super League protection. 2, I like that it fixed the portal, and 3, this sport needs governance just horribly. If it doesn't, this sport will not have near the fandom that it does in 2 more years. We cannot continue to have this chaos go on. People are extremely annoyed across the board. So anyway, I
got a question about how long the Big Ten gets to keep a spot for Notre Dame, as long as they want, because I think that's the only school they would want to add. Like, it's very, very convenient that the cap is now at 19 schools for a conference when the Big Ten has 18 in it. It's so obvious that it's just, it might be a way to try and bully a way for Notre Dame into a conference, to be honest.
Why does Notre Dame get automatic entry into the playoff if they're ranked a certain level? Does that extend to all independents or just Notre Dame?
Definitely not. Do you know who else is independent right now?
Who?
UConn. And that's it.
I love that.
Those are the only 2 independent schools.
So UConn, if you can manage to finish in the top 12, you can make the playoff. You want to make yourself sick? Have you looked at Notre Dame's bleeping schedule for this fall?
It's not good. It's soft. Very, very soft this year.
Soft.
Their preseason
soft.
Over under.
Atrocious.
I know their preseason over under is like 11.5. Like,
you want to hear it? We're gonna do this real quick.
Do you want me to put it on the screen, or do you just want to read it?
Yeah, put it on the screen.
Okay.
I think maybe 10 years ago, when they made this, it maybe sounded better than it does right now. But my Lord, Keeney. What an absolutely atrocious schedule. Also, the amount of home games and neutrals they get compared to true roads is disgusting as well. Shame on them.
Like, is that Wisconsin neutral site game on the first week of the year?
Again,
does that do
Wisconsin 10 years ago. Wisconsin 10 years ago, great. What are they now? A 5-win program in the Big Ten? 5, 6, 7-win program? Rice, congratulations. What is Michigan State right now? A 5, 6-win Big Ten program. What is Purdue right now?
Terrible.
5, 6-win Big Ten program. Okay, you're on the road to North Carolina. What is North Carolina right now?
These are
6-win ACC program.
These are just coaches that will be on Cancun watch when we get to that later in the show.
Stanford at home, 15 years ago, people got excited about that game. That might be the cheapest ticket to go to a Notre Dame game all year. Stanford's atrocious. At BYU, kudos to them for scheduling a game with a Big 12 school and doing a home and home. Give them credit. Navy, neutral. Miami, great game at home. Boston College, horrible at home. Do you know how many road games they play this year? True road games?
It looks like 4. Play
3
Syracuse,
4.
BYU.
Yep. No, 3 in North Carolina.
So they
3.
play at BYU on October 17th. They don't hit the road again until Thanksgiving weekend. After that, they got a neutral site game with Navy, big whoop, and then they play at Syracuse to end the year. Look at that.
6 home, 3 road, 2 neutrals. Did I do that right?
I'm seeing 4 road, 2 neutrals, but
4 road.
Their schedule's soft. They're going to go at worst 11-1, and they're going to make the playoff. And what's the incentive for them to do anything different than this and going forward? They have an automatic carve out. The committee is going to put them in if they lose 1 or less games.
Why would
no
you
matter
ever
what.
schedule a good team ever again?
Yeah.
Why would you
exactly.
do it? There's zero incentive to do that. And it's disgusting to me that they just get a waltz right in. Don't get me started on Notre Dame. Okay. So we need legislation passed because we got to regulate it. I actually think I want to talk about the cap just briefly. Right? Like, I think where we're going is okay. So, okay, you talk about, sorry, I'm grabbing a pen. Ohio State, take your pick, right? There's 20 programs that are going to be able to spend $47 million. Tech, Texas, Miami, Ohio State.
I don't think the number's that high. I think
it may be 10, 15, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it might genuinely be like Ohio State, Alabama, maybe Notre Dame. They'll find the money.
I don't know that the money's there. Notre Dame will for sure.
Texas for sure. Texas A&M. I would say Miami, but they're in the ACC. So I don't know.
Well, and the reality is, right, a lot of these, like, so
Georgia,
Florida, the way they were doing it
Michigan,
prior boys and girls, they were using their money on like regular players and then using the big like alums at big companies to do like legit NIL for the best players. That is how you get around the restrictions. I would already argue, Keeney, with that cap, there are probably 6 or 7 teams that were already at that amount. I mean, Matt Campbell was pledged what, $20 million over the cap at Penn State? That's pretty much right where this cap sits. So like, if you can do that, congratulations. And for the schools, the benefit though, Keeney, is for the schools who don't have the donors to do the outside money, because I think that it was slated very aggressively prior, Keeney, to the schools that had that outside money. And there weren't very many of them, right? Everyone was at the cap, and then if you could somehow manufacture $30 million from big donors and boosters to do specific pay, like promotional deals with players, you could do that. But try to think of a good example. The Papa John's owner guy couldn't give $4 million to a backup offensive lineman because someone would rule that he's not worth that amount of money. With this, all that goes away. They can just spend $35 to $40 million on football and nothing on basketball and the $5 million on Olympic sports if they want. I'm okay with that. And they can use university money. So if Louisville, whose athletic department, Keeney, is already in horrible shape, if they want to keep throwing $35 million to this, of the university's money at this problem to hope that they'll someday compete, great, they can do that now. Before, again, if you couldn't go over the cap, you were just automatically handcuffed. So now, you said it, Keeney, while 45 FBS teams won't be able to get to 40 million on football, you know what? They'll have at least the option to do it without breaking rules. So shout out Papa John's. Not a sponsor. Could be. Love the garlic sauce. So that's where
I don't know if we want Papa John sponsoring this show.
No, probably not actually. But does that make sense, Keeney? Do you feel the same way? Like, at least now teams have a chance to do this without having to go find some, list of 15 huge donors to give the money privately. I'm at least okay with the direction.
I like the idea. I just don't know who's going to enforce it. If Texas is like, hey, actually we want to spend $60 million on our football team this year, who's going to actually stop them?
Right. Don't know. Right. They say there's penalties. Had a great question here.
Yeah,
Penn State's
let's pull up
schedule
the
is
Penn State
also
schedule. So
just vomitrocious.
who's got a softer schedule this year, Penn State or Notre Dame? Let's go through it and take a look. So Penn State, the Penn State Cyclones, they open with Marshall. Got a road game against Temple, trap game, maybe. What do you think? In state? No.
Maybe.
Buffalo at home. Okay, so their non-conference is a joke. Then they play Wisconsin, just like Notre Dame does. They go to Northwestern to play in that new stadium. Who cares? USC at home, at Michigan, home Purdue, at Washington, home Minnesota, home Rutgers, at Maryland. I mean, there's what, two and a half hard games on that schedule?
2.5 hard games. USC and Michigan, 2 confirmed. I don't even know. I think if you totaled them all together, you might get a half hard game. I don't know who would be at Washington. I guess is tricky because it's across the country.
Matt,
yeah, that is.
I feel like you and I know Matt Campbell pretty well, and we know that he's going to drop an inexplicable game somewhere.
A really stupid one.
Do you want to try and pinpoint which one it's going to be?
Oh, easy. It's going to be Minnesota on November 14th.
Okay, I looked at that one. I would also nominate Northwestern because it's a road game early in the season.
Yeah, he's going to drop one in late September that he shouldn't, and he's going to drop one or 2 in November that he shouldn't, and then October is going to be jet fuel.
That Marshall game is also going to be like 7-3 at halftime. I promise you. It'll be close.
Hold on, I want to do a little. Let's. I was curious about a little comparison here. It's Northwestern. I figured you'd say so, Jackson.
Which one will give Rocco a pick 6? Most of them probably. Are we in the full on trash?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Hold on. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, this is great. Penn State has 5 different games, Keeney, where they get in price. If you want to look at ticket price as a barometer,
we've got it on the screen right now.
5 games with a get in price below $30. Right. Little old Iowa State. You want to guess how many we have? 2.
Well, less
Bowling
seats,
Green, Bowling Green, and at UCF.
At UCF. Okay, that's a road game too. That almost doesn't count.
Correct.
Yep. I mean, look. I mean, the schedule, man. Like, who's going to be the whiteout game? Are they going to do USC at night, or is
Buffalo.
Fox going to go in and say, nope, this is your 12 o'clock game? And
Buffalo
whiteout.
That's right. Buffalo whiteout.
Welcome to Happy Valley here for the whiteout against Rutgers.
Oh, what a look at the last 3 games on that schedule. Just have fun. All right. We wanted to talk about, I think it's great to do Big 12 win totals because that's a perfect segue into hot seat, which is a perfect segue to Cancun. So I think if we start there.
Before we get to that, I also wanted to talk about Iowa State's schedule changes. Speaking of schedules, Iowa State had some news that came out last week. We haven't talked about it on a pod yet. So, Matt, I mean, this does affect you a little bit, especially being so close to the stadium. You get another home game next year. How do you feel about that one?
Oh, love it. You think
we have?
You think any of us were excited about having to go to Bowling Green?
No more Bowling Green road trip. Extension of the Cyhawk series, and then Tulane is going to be in weeks 28 and 29.
How about that?
Are you pumped? Are you going to New Orleans in August, like 3 years from now?
I would consider it. I'm glad that's a game where if you can beat Tulane, I think a MAC school, people are like, but a game against Tulane, that's actually, I think, a well-run program.
Tulane pretty regularly hosts like SEC programs. I think K-State's been down there.
Playoff adjacent a lot for their level, right? Like that type of matchup I'm okay with because if you lose, people are like, oh, you got beat by Tulane. But if you win, you get a little credit for it. So but Bowling Green on the road, oof.
Yeah. Huge win to not have to do the Bowling Green road trip. I got to ask you, do you think there's any connection to Jamie Pollard's retiring and now all of a sudden we get Beer and Jack Trice and we don't have to go to Bowling Green anymore? Connecting some dots there. Windhorse fingers, like, what would that be? I wonder.
Now, why would they do that? It has to be, right? I would say yes. Don't think it's an accident, right? Like,
how many beers do you think we need to sell at football games this year to, like, how many games worth of beer sales will it take to buy out what it costs Bowling Green to come here next year? 2, 3 home games?
I'd say 2 home games. If we really get after it the first couple games of the year, which I think that means that you and I just need to pledge to do our best, Keeney. Can we commit to that?
I will commit to trying to be the best version of myself. We'll see where the process takes me for that one.
That's really all we can ask of you. I'm excited.
Do you want to wade into the rhetoric around the Cyhawk game and the series being continued?
No, I mean the haters and the losers, of which they are many, are sick to their stomach. They're disgusted, and I think they're a bunch of nerds.
Tulane will be it's a quote unquote bowl trip in week 0. Jackson's right. Very similar to when we went to UNLV. The only problem I have with that one is it's Louisiana and it's outdoors and it's in August. It's going to be 250 degrees in the stadium for that game.
250 degrees. Yeah,
it's going to be awful hot. I guarantee it. Yeah, man. I mean, the Cyhawk series, it's great for both schools. It's something that needs to continue. It's something unique to college football, especially with a lot of what we've lost over the last decade and a half of realignment. It's cool for these two schools within the same state. It'd just be stupid if we didn't play each other. Really. I think that's what it comes down to.
I think it still matters. Like, I know everyone's going to start trying to, schedule easier, but a win over a Big 12 or a Big 10 opponent in the non-conference still does mean something. Like, and I love that, Iowa fans will say that they get nothing out of it. It just hurts them when they not only lose to us, but then they proceed to lose 3 or 4 other Big 10 games along the way.
Right.
It's not like they're going 11-1 every year and the one lost to us because it's the only game we care about is keeping them out of anything. They're still losing games hand over fist during the regular season too. So like that has absolutely no bearing.
I saw so many comments.
Maybe try winning the game.
Exactly. Sometime. I saw so many comments, Matt, about like how Iowa State does nothing for Iowa's resume. When is Iowa?
Because you're not beating us.
Iowa has never built a resume ever for anything.
No.
The only time they ever got close to the playoff is because they won all their games against a wet paper soft schedule. And the only reason they were even close is because they didn't lose the game.
And they got exposed nationally by the media, by people like Colin Cowherd, and then they played the games and got exposed even more. So
in the 12-team era, they've lost 4 games in the regular season. Like that, you're not building a resume to try and get in the playoff. You lose too many games. So it doesn't matter what happens with Iowa State. Iowa State has actually less to gain because the only way we get in is if we win the Big 12. Doesn't really matter. I guess if we went like 11-1 and won the Cyhawk game, maybe.
Right.
But our only real path is winning the Big 12 championship game. So this one, I mean, yeah, what does it mean for Iowa State?
By the way, we were talking schedules. Iowa's got a fun one this year when they don't know who's playing quarterback and a lot has gone off their defense. How's this hit you for a little 5-game stretch, Keeney? 6-game stretch. At Michigan, Ohio State at home, at Washington, at Minnesota, Wisconsin at home, rivalry game, at Northwestern. That's pretty nasty. And you close it out at Illinois and Nebraska at home. An Illinois team that has been much better, and another rivalry game.
Well, look
Kirk Ferentz learned to speak 6-6, buddy.
Look at the back half of their schedule, and it's literally just the Big Ten West. They play everybody who was in the Big Ten West.
Essentially.
And then they have like 3 hard games at the start of conference season. This is such a good comment, too, because Iowa losing to us does them a favor when they have to play a good team. When the rubber meets the road, at least they get it out of the way early. instead of getting beat by 50 in the Big Ten championship game by Ohio State, or like sneaking into a playoff and losing by 100.
My family, there's Iowa fans in the family on my dad's side. We were having a family Christmas, Keeney, the year they played Stanford in the Rose Bowl. And I think we were all watching it in the living room as kind of part of this. I think early in the second quarter, I was the only one left in that room watching the game because they had all just gotten up and left. And I remember just sitting there, just giggling like an idiot. I can still see Christian McCaffrey juking. I believe it was Josie Jewell into a different calendar year on a long touchdown run. An absolutely incredible game. One of my favorites. One of my favorite games I've ever watched that had absolutely nothing to do with my team. Just a pure, unadulterated hate watch that still lives rent-free in my brain.
This question I was going to ask you, Matt. You and I are like, I would consider us to be like pretty good haters. We love
no question.
We love a hate watch. Is that the best hate watch you've ever experienced?
So good.
Can you think of one better?
The Big Ten title game against Michigan was great. It wasn't quite as much of a spanking, but what did they generate? Like 68 yards of offense in that game.
Was that the Deacon Hill one?
Oh gosh,
somehow.
I got to look up it was the year Michigan won the Natty, correct?
I
want to say J.J. McCarthy was quarterback.
Probably.
Yeah. 42-3. A very normal score for a title game. Yep. That's just a perfectly regular. Oh no, it was Spencer Petras. Yep, that's right. That was very fun. Really did enjoy watching that. I think I just kept betting on the Michigan spread. It started at like 8. Every time they'd score, I just keep betting it and just kept going up and up and up and up and up. I really did enjoy that one. That was great.
This is a callback.
Buzzer beater after winning. Oh,
you remember this one when they were like a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament? They lost in the first round.
Oh, to Northwestern State.
Yeah.
From the corner on the baseline on that weird court that was like black and purple.
When I think about hate watches, I think about like crushing Packer losses usually are my favorite ones, but Iowa getting spanked in Iowa losing the Big Ten championship game and they getting spanked in the Rose Bowl and like invalidating everything they did that year was pretty great.
Especially, that since Colin Cowherd had been calling them, what was it, the fake ID of college football? Oh, so great! It's one of my favorite like sequence of events.
All right.
Okay, so let's get to the Big 12. I'll kind of kick off this segment. I think here's what I've been consuming some podcast content. To be honest, I've been staying away from it, but I think I decided that it's finally time. And I got to tell you, I'm surprised. And I hate all right, you'll hear me reference it a lot when it comes to like betting. I really like the Cover 3 podcast. There are some guys on that show that drive me absolutely nuts.
Call them out. Say their names.
But Elliot, maybe talking about you. Actually, I think Bud follows me on Twitter, and I like a lot of what he says. I don't love his realignment talks or his talk.
I don't like Bud Elliott at all. Bud Elliott, I hope you're watching. I don't like you. I don't like you. Danny Cannell does nothing for me too. I hate Danny Cannell.
You don't like Danny? Okay. Day trading Danny. I like Tom. Tom's got some schmarmy Big Ten smugness about him, but he's an Illinois guy and he speaks our language. Chip Patterson's hilarious. Anyway, it's more for betting, right? Their show is more of a betting show than anything. The Solid Verbal is probably my favorite one. Ty Hildebrandt and Dan Rubenstein, they've been doing it forever, like since podcasts existed. And they've got a nice 3-parter on there. So if you don't listen to the Solid Verbal, if you're not part of the Verballerhood, I think is what they call it, check it out. It's a great show. Not going to say it's for casuals. Like Keeney, when they do game prep, they'll basically talk like every game, but they pay attention to the whole sport, not just the SEC, not just the Big Ten. And I thought they did a nice job on the Big 12. And what their consensus, which if you've looked through it much, I don't know if you have, is that there is more at the top of the Big 12 than they thought. There might be like 8 teams, half the league, roughly, that could be good to very good with a chance of being excellent. That group that could be excellent is much smaller. But I think there's a lot of teams that I guess until I kind of read through the rosters, like I was really surprised, like how much might be there. So we've talked about the big ones, right? Tech, BYU, Houston, and I think Utah. Utah's got way more new and probably is a lot less likely than some of the others. I think Arizona might be capable of winning 9-10 games potentially. I think TCU won 9 games last year, right? So like, I think TCU's got a shot. Colin Klein at K-State could work phenomenally well with a running quarterback that plays in a similar style. If he finally changes some of the things that Kleiman was doing that weren't working well. The other one is Oklahoma State, right? They're like 5.5 win. Drew Mestemaker, and I forget the name of the running back. They have a great backfield combo, and I like Eric Morris. He basically brought the whole team, and North Texas was really good last year. I know it's North Texas. I get it. I think Oklahoma State's win total is just a sign that we have truly no idea what to do with this team. I think they're going to be a lot better than that. To me, that's an easy over. I will be betting that one over, actually.
You know what, Matt? I think this makes for great podcasting because
you can't pull it up.
I am not in the same boat as you. I think some healthy disagreement is good here. So when I think about Oklahoma State, I get it. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to give up 1 million points. So like the consensus is Iowa State is going to be the worst team in the Big 12. Right. And Oklahoma State could win the league. I think it's just because people like offense more than they like defense.
And not defense.
I mean, think about it. Like, what did Iowa State do? They hired Jimmy Rogers from Washington State and imported pretty much most of his defense, which was genuinely good last year, especially given their circumstances. And we're going to be the worst team in the league. But Oklahoma State is a sneaky Big 12 championship contender. They hired Eric Morris from North Texas and brought North Texas's offense. North Texas's defense was terrible last year. So, like, they loaded up on one side of the ball. We loaded up on one side of the ball. We're going to suck, and they're going to win the league. I don't get it. I think we're overrating that just a little bit.
Totally fair. Let's make this easy. There's a lot of teams in this league. Let's do alphabetical. Give me your thoughts on over/under. Arizona State's is 6.5.
So
one of the teams I honestly have no read on. Dillingham is a good coach. I would assume over.
Yeah, the concept here is this is just rapid reaction. You know, we haven't counted okay, who's going to beat who. I would also lean over on Arizona State just because I think Dillingham's a good coach, and I know they invest enough to put a competitive roster out there.
And it's tough because I think they've probably lost quite a bit. But I don't know, man. I think they've got good talent there. It's hard to see that the fall off from 2 years ago would be possibly that steep and that severe. So I think most people I've watched tend to agree. Cutter Boley is going to be their quarterback. I don't know a ton about him. So I think, Marcus Arroyo is going to be running their offense, if I understand correctly. So I don't know. I'm curious. There's enough new there that I'm not really sure what to expect. They got a good running back in from Villanova, if I remember correctly. And then I'm pretty sure they have a really, really, really good 5-star recruiter running back. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And they did a really good job in the portal. They brought in some good transfer wide receivers. So I think they've got a chance to probably go over, would be my guess. The team from that state that I'm way more bullish on is, they spend money. But Arizona, to me, has a much higher ceiling. And I think the consensus for them, I think their total is 7.5. To me, that feels like an over. But it's one of those that it's pretty trendy, right? Like everybody's picking them to be good. They were 9-4 last year with Brent Brennan. 4 wins in his first season after Jed Fish bolts. But what? Remember how players he took? Like he took the entire team. Noah Fafita's back at quarterback, which he's really good. I think their offensive line, unfortunately, is not, which is a problem. But they were really good in the second half of games last year. Their quarterback, here's an old friend. Do you remember Seth Dagey? Seth Dagey was
Texas Tech. Texas Tech and maybe I think maybe West Virginia too. I think he might have been a guy that bounced around.
Yep.
Arizona,
good offense, 32 points a game last year. Like basically the whole team is back, just with a little bit better experience. If they can fix the offensive line, that's the biggest scary thing for them. It was not great last year. Skill position's great, quarterback's great, and their defense has been really good. Like their defense was pretty darn good last year. It wasn't prior, but I don't know. To me, they almost seem like a 9-win team if everything goes well, maybe even 10.
I think I'm going to lean under on Arizona.
Oh my gosh! Oh no!
Hard schedule. Look at their Big 12 schedule. It's hard, like as hard as a Big 12 schedule can be.
I guess I'd seen their non-conference, but I had not seen. We should almost have all these up.
I'm pretty sure they play Tech. They play Utah. I think they play Houston, and I think they play BYU. I think they have a tough schedule for the Big 12.
Ooh, yeah, and at Tech stinks. It does. At K-State's not great. BYU also stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I would lean under
on
there.
That, no doubt.
All right, we got 14 more to go. Let's
all right. BYU, I think most people are saying over. It's 8.5.
What's their number?
8.5. To me, he seems like a 9-10 win team pretty reliably.
I'm definitely taking the over on BYU. I think they're going to be in the conference championship game. I would take the over there for sure.
Baylor 6.5. To me, I'm under.
Down on Dave Aranda. He will be in Cancun watch.
Well, yeah, we'll check in with Davey here in a little bit here on Cancun watch. They've been spending money and been getting nothing for it, and that rubber's got to meet the road somewhere.
I don't know if DJ Lagway is good.
He's a name. He was at Florida, obviously. My opinion of him at Florida the whole time is that he was not good. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to get people. Oh yeah, Baylor should be good. They have DJ Lagway. I don't know that they've ever actually watched it. I'm sorry, I don't think he's that great either. Cincinnati's a tough one. Not looking great for Scott Satterfield.
He will also be in Cancun watch.
I was going to say, I feel like he could get to 6. It's 5.5. But boy, that would be a really scary over to bet. I don't think that you want to sweat that one.
I'm also leaning under on Cincy. You got to swallow a lot of juice on that one. From what I see, it's like -160 to the under, but I'd go under.
I mean, okay, so they've got, for the bettors out there, Boston College at home. That may not be easy. BC is not great, but they're probably about as good. WCU, I don't even know who that is, and I'm not even going to pretend like I do. Miami of Ohio, which didn't they lose that game last year, or almost lost it? Was one of
feisty. That would be a very Cincy game to lose.
At Arizona, that stinks. They have Tech and Utah. They're both at home. At Houston, at Iowa State, at BYU. Oh, ouch! Oh, dude, that's brutal.
People are circling that as a game that Iowa State will win. So
the wins: Colorado at home. At West Virginia, maybe. WCU, either Kansas State or that's an under. That is an under on Cincinnati's. That's brutal. They're gonna maybe win 5, maybe. Yikes! I feel bad for Satterfield. We'll come back to him when we get to the beach. Okay. Colorado's 4.5. Speaking of,
I'm gonna shock you here.
No,
kind of like Colorado. Everybody's down on Colorado. Dude, I think they're going to have a fun offense. I think they'll score points. I think Dion can get to 5 and 7. It doesn't mean that he's not going to leave, but I think he can get to 5 and 7. That would be a tepid over on Colorado.
Did you hear their players said we're actually watching film on other teams this year?
Yeah, I mean, they might
be
taking they're taking things more serious this year. All right. Dion doesn't have a kid to try and force feed. He doesn't have Travis Hunter.
I mean, watching tape is always a great idea, and probably a good harbinger of things to come.
They can beat for 5 wins on Colorado. Give me over 4.5.
They can beat Georgia Tech is feisty. They beat Weber State. They can probably beat Northwestern. They're at Baylor. That one shouldn't be too bad. They've got Cincinnati. They've got UCF. Yeah. Yeah, there's a path to 5 wins. I mean, it's 4.5 wins.
I mean,
actually,
if you don't like them, I don't think you like them at all.
Nope, I'm changing. Betting 4.5 is actually really fun. Like getting to 5 wins, folks, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to get to 5 wins. If it was 5.5, 1,000% no. 5 wins, Colorado can do that. Houston is 8.5. This one all depends on what you think of them last year. This may not actually be a bad spot to bet under. The reality with Houston, Keeney, is 8 wins would still be great. I think that would be a really good season. And if you feel like that win total from last year was inflated, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, there was some luck involved in some of those wins. Like it was kind of, like I said, it was maybe a touch fluky. Looking like, so Oregon State, Southern, and Georgia Southern should be 3 wins. At Tech, tough. Let's look for tough ones. At Tech won't be fun. At Utah won't be fun.
No.
Otherwise, their toughest remaining game. Let's look at their, oh my gosh, their last 4. Cincy at home, at Colorado, at West Virginia, Baylor at home. They, in reality, should be able to win all 4 of those. They've got UCF at home, Oklahoma State at home. So toughest 2 games are easily at Tech, at Utah, and a number 3 would be at K-State. 9-3, but again, they could. It's 8.5. You drop 1. I mean, at Colorado and at West Virginia back-to-back weeks. That's maybe tricky. No buy-in.
I want to take the under here. I would
and just bet 8. Not a train wreck season. You're saying 8 wins.
8-4 would still be a good year for them. I would lean under. Hey, I already said I'm high on Colorado, so they'll lose the Colorado game.
Well, I like that because a lot of people are over in Houston, right? They're going to start the season in the top 25. They won 10 games last year. Someone might see this, oh, this is a bargain. I'm with you. I actually think I'd take the under and hope that they got to 8 wins. Iowa State's 5.
I'm marking down our disagreements so far.
Okay.
I think Colorado was one for sure.
Yep.
I think Arizona, we're differing on that one too.
Arizona's 1. Baylor, we both had under. Okay. Yeah, I would probably. You had over on Houston or under?
I'd take under. I think we're in agreement there. So, is it Iowa State next?
Iowa State 5.5. Okay, hold on. Let me build the case for 8 wins really quick. Let me build the case for 8 wins.
Cook.
Okay. Cook. All right, let me cook. SEMO body bag, right? Zip them up, haul them out. Iowa's going to have Johnny Ricketts or whoever the hell playing quarterback. Like, doesn't matter. Not going to be able to throw the ball. Bowling Green, home, should win that game. Utah at home, yep. Don't love it. Not a fan. West Virginia at home, I think they'll be favored in that game. Keeney, I bet they'll be a 2.5-point favorite in that game, 3-point favorite. Should be able to win. So you've got SEMO and Bowling Green and West Virginia. Keeney, by October 3rd, you could be 3 games into that. And if Jimmy Rogers does the funniest thing ever and beats Iowa on the road, 4. Right? Funniest thing ever. At BYU, at Arizona, I know there's a buy in between. Hey, both of them. Don't like either. But I love the way the schedule finishes. Oklahoma State at home. If all they have is offense and they truly can't stop anybody, it's a game Iowa State can win. I bet it'll be pretty neutral, like spread-wise. Oklahoma State maybe slight favorite. Depends on how their season's unfolded by then. At Baylor, you can win that game. Cincinnati at home, be favored to win that game. At UCF, should probably win that game. K-State at home, who the hell knows what K-State's going to be this year, right?
It's a home game.
And it's a home game.
Lost Matt again. I love the way Matt Nelson thinks. You know what? It's Iowa State, so I'm taking the over. I think the consensus on Iowa State from Iowa State fans is that we're going to get better over the course of the year, right? So I might not see 8, but I can see 6. So I want the over on Iowa State.
I like those.
They're the team that everybody hates, by the way. Everybody who's doing a college football preview, everybody
Yeah.
who hosts a podcast,
Super
says,
down on
I think
it.
Iowa State's going to be the worst team in the Big 12. So this is a very good contrarian play. Everybody hates us. I think we're going to be better than that. I think 6 is very much on the table.
The last 5 games, 3 at home, 2 on the road. Keeney, correct me if I'm wrong, they're all winnable. Oklahoma State, Baylor, Cincinnati, UCF, K-State. That excludes a winnable home game against West Virginia and 2 very winnable non-conference games that you should win. Those are 8 games.
So what happens when we beat Iowa? I love the way this is phrased too. When we beat Iowa.
When we beat Iowa.
Then what happens to the expectations? Then you're like, hey, you know what? Well, first off, it's their Super Bowl, so we know they're all in on it.
They will try very hard because it's the one game a year they really care about. All right.
Right.
Kansas 5.5. I think we're going different directions on this one.
I would say, gosh, I do think Leipold's a good coach, but he's really failed with expectations the last couple of years.
Hasn't gone well.
I don't know. This would be a good contrarian play if you want to take the over. I'd lean under on Kansas. I don't know if I see it.
Yeah. I'm going to take over just because of new stadium hype and just vibes. I think they could ride that to a bowl game, but we've seen it happen before where it's started well and gone off the rails, or it's just been off the rails to start.
It was my favorite play a couple of years ago when they started in the top 25 and their over under was like 8.5 and they went 5-7. I was like, nope, this Kansas team is overrated. So, should we move on to K-State then?
Let's do it. This is another one that everyone likes over. The question is, just how bad of a job was Kleiman doing? Did the locker room truly hate him and was checked out? And is Avery Johnson actually good at quarterback? We just haven't seen it. Or is he who we thought he was? I'm going to take under. I tend to think he is exactly who we think he is. I've seen some data out of the NFL, Keeney, that by year 3, like going into year 4, if you're expecting your quarterback to change, the track record shows that who they are those first 3 years is exactly who they are. You can have maybe some buffer for a year or two, but eventually, you just can't reinvent yourself out of nowhere. I tend to think the way that he fumbles, interceptions, the accuracy, his dad fighting his son in public.
What's the over under on Johnson family brawls in the rain?
It's the Denny Green. They are who we thought they were. I think that is Avery Johnson. Now,
this is a good contrarian play too, Matt. I think I got to go.
You're going over. Oh my God.
No, I got to go under with you. I think people like them a lot. I think their schedule is not that hard. I don't think. No. But this is a good one to swerve and go under. So
I'm generally kind of a Kansas State hater just in general too. So Oklahoma State, I'm over. I love the offense. I will be betting overs. Can we work them in, Keeney, to a weekly bet the Oklahoma State over podcast? We might have a you can't set the over high enough situation, which I am a big fan of. Always
right. I mean, okay, so all right. I don't think they're going to be as good as people say, but their win total's 5.5. I still think you got to go over. I think they get to 6, but they're not going to be at like 9 or 10 and competing for the Big 12. So I'd still take over. But yeah, by the way, Matt, we got to talk off mic about how we're going to do betting content this year because I love that. I love that we're a little bit more open now, and we can do video, we can do all this good stuff. We'll figure it out. But yeah, Oklahoma State is you can't set the total high enough team. By the way, Matt, thank you for guesting on this from what is it called? Open for Business, I think.
Open for Business.
Can you tell us about Open for Business that
guy does look a lot like me.
Your guy John Kurtz.
Have you ever seen John Kurtz and I in the same room?
I've never seen Matt and John Kurtz in the same room.
That's true.
We need John Kurtz to come to the Kansas State game, and we need to set up a link between you two.
Keeney, what we
guys need to meet.
We need to do some digging on gambling. I would love if we could find a sponsor, or we could start with a bankroll and actually, pick the games like we've done in the past, but put some real units on it. And then obviously I would love to do a little special video for our parlay, which our track record is abysmal. We will finally.
It's awful. It's horrible. So bad.
Don't follow us.
I do like the idea of us coming to the table with a pick and then a consensus. So we do a 3-leg parlay every week.
Last year, one of mine, you're talking about Oklahoma State, right? Was North Texas overs, right? I just went back to look just for fun at some of their box scores. Are you ready? Are you ready for some of these final scores, Keeney?
Points.
Lamar 51-0. Western Michigan, I'll just total points 63. The Wazoo game 69. The Army game 84. North Texas, Alabama 58. South Florida, North Texas 99. UTSA,
Overs.
Notre Dame 72. Charlotte, North Texas 74. Navy, North Texas was like 50. UAB, North Texas 80. Rice, North Texas 80. I mean, and those over-under totals, Keeney, they were not 80 all year. They were probably like a really high over-under is what, like 68?
Yeah.
69 points. How many games did I just read that were like 12 points over that? It might be alt over, where you're picking Oklahoma State games and betting money up to what, 75, 74?
It'll be overs. That's
correct.
The theme with them.
And that was against the likes of UTSA and Charlotte, not competent Big 12 offenses. So
anyway, and over 5.5 wins to get it back on track here. So
TCU, I don't know. I don't know what to think of Sonny Dykes. He made a title game, and I just don't know. I don't know about their team last year. What are your thoughts on TCU?
I go over 6.5. I think they're just kind of wash, rinse, repeat. You know, they win 7-8 games. He had some heat on him, and then if you look his last couple of years, it's like 8 wins, 9 wins, 9 wins. They're super consistent. I go over 6.5 here, and feel pretty comfortable with it. Do we go? Is it Tech?
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. I'm probably over on them too. Texas Tech 10.5. I'm going to say under. I think they lose 2.
I don't
know
I think
that
they.
I trust
I think
Hammond.
they.
I don't know.
I think they lose 1.
I don't know that
I don't
you
think
can
they
bolt
lose
transfers
2
together for that long. Okay, so you're over. I'm under.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it was 11.5,
they're clearly really good.
I think they'll lose a game, really but I don't think they'll lose 2.
I tend to like the 10.5. It means like 2 games. 11.5 is almost an auto bet under that they'll lose a game. It is tougher because 11-1 is probably a very likely scenario for them. UCF 5.5. Not
Scott Frost, Cancun under. I cannot condone this one enough. Under.
I'm under on that one as well.
Scott Frost, Cancun under.
Utah 8.5. How you feeling?
I like that they're new coaches from the staff.
Coach continuity is nice with Morgan Scalley.
I really like Dampier as the quarterback. I think he was hurt last year. I think he's an awesome player.
He was.
So I would take over on Utah. I still think they're going to be pretty good.
They lost a ton. A ton. But it's Utah. I think they've got a pretty easy schedule. No contrarian for me here. I'm actually going to go over 2. There's a chance they're really good. That program has such a high baseline of expectations. I think I'm with you.
Yeah. Big Dampier fan. I like him a lot.
West Virginia. Ooh.
I think I'm going under on West Virginia too. I think I go under 5.5.
Yeah. I'm out on West Virginia under. All right. That's it. Okay, now we're going to do quickly Big 12 hot seat, and then I need some input from the chat and from you, Keeney, on some broader names. This is basically hot seat means it's a little warm. I think there's really only like 2 that are dead ringers for Cancun. I would say Brent Brennan is on the hot seat. He had a bad debut season. Last year was better. I think that's I don't know why you would hold heat to him after what happened when Jed Fish left and took, the entire bleeping team with him. So, sneaky one. I think hot seat. I think Lance Leipold's on the hot seat. With that new stadium and all the money spent there, if they suck the mop again this year, he's a great coach, but and I know it's Kansas, so maybe he's never. Maybe they're happy to keep him forever. But at some point, dude, you got to win 5, 6, or 7 games.
He might be on retirement watch too because he's a little older.
Could be.
Could be a kind of pushed out the door situation.
Okay. Big 12. Like now, we kind of get into who's in the boarding area for Cancun. Not on the beach yet.
These are coaches that will not be with their programs next year.
That's right. That's what Cancun means, if you're wondering. That before Thanksgiving, they will be on a beach enjoying a buyout check. There's 2 easy ones from the Big 12, man. We mentioned it both already. Dave Aranda and Scott Satterfield.
Yes.
Yikes. Dave Aranda hitching his wagon and his Cancun prospects to DJ Lagway is a risky proposition at best. And I just don't know that Satterfield was a good hire for Cincinnati. It hasn't worked. They should be better this year, but we've said that for the last few years and haven't seen it. So there's just nothing there that excites me about watching that team. I don't
really understand what they're doing there.
I don't
didn't think it was a good hire when they hired him. They obviously went through the situation with the quarterback. They don't really have a quarterback now. I just don't see it. I don't see it with him. I think he's definitely a Cancun guy.
Okay, so those are the 2 from the Big 12.
I'd put Scott Frost up there. I think if they crash and burn, they might be able to cut bait fast.
Really?
I don't see the well, okay. I guess what I would say is I don't think UCF is going to be good. I don't know how patient they're going to be with him. I guess they'd really have to bottom out maybe to fire him this year, but I don't see it. I don't see it with Scott Frost.
I mean, they're getting better. 3-9, 5-7, 7-5. They had Sorsby, but now they don't. Also, Dante Corleone, respect that guy's back, or that guy's gone. Big salute to that guy. Loved him. Okay, national hot seat. There's some really funny ones.
What do you want? Would you say Dion?
No, I think he's built up enough goodwill that it's his to leave whenever he wants, which at this point he maybe should have already done. Probably should have gotten on top. His kids are gone. Go to the NFL. I'm not sure why he didn't, unless he truly likes college, which is possible. I don't know Dion. I would say yes, but it's Deion Sanders, and he they just retired his son's jersey. Probably not, but I don't know how long he can keep stinking before they don't make a change. Mike Norvell, lame duck. Don't know what he's doing. The only reason why he's there because his buyout's so big they can't fire him.
Yeah, that's Florida State for anybody who.
Yes,
Mike Norvell, Florida State head coach.
They wanted to move on from him in the offseason, but his buyout's like some sort of obscene thing in the upper $30 million range. Luke Fickell, how did that never work out? Honestly, it could work out great. Here's my predictions: Satterfield out, Fickell back to Cincinnati. Why not? Get the band back together. Really shocked that one never worked. He tried to go spread for a few years, which at Wisconsin, like all my friends from Wisconsin didn't like and no one thought would work anyway, because what Wisconsin has is beef and bulk. And now he's gone back to it, but it's probably too late. He should have made that adjustment from the beginning. It's not like a common name or big deal, but Mike Loxley at Maryland, probably going to get fired, probably headed to Cancun. No offense. Who else is close? I mean, you could argue everyone in the SEC is. Shane Beamer's not in a great spot.
If they're bad, he's getting fired.
He's a good coach, I think. I like him. I don't think that I do like him.
But is he? I don't know if he's
not okay. Maybe not. Good coach, undetermined. Like him, yes. Fired, unfortunately. Also, probably yes. Is Brent Venables safe? I don't know.
I've got him on the list
I think he's on the list. I think he absolutely should be. It's been one pretty good season the whole time he's been there. I'm not sure that OU fans love him, and it looked like he was going to be on Cancun by mid-October last year, and somehow they pulled it out. So I don't know. I think that's very possible. Can I ask a thought question? Not because I'm bitter or anything.
When do we
They
move to
fired.
the reckless
Okay.
speculation / wish casting?
Yeah, I mean, you got to start with the obvious one, and that's Matt Campbell. They
Okay, well,
fired. They
it's not.
hold on. No, hear me out.
There's no
They
world.
hold
There's
on.
no way.
We said that before they fired James Franklin. They
There's no way.
fired only go 10-2 James Franklin. Matt Campbell is a program builder. Would not be the first coach I would recommend if you're like, yeah, we need to win 12 games right out the chute. What if he goes 8-4? You think
There's
Penn State fans have the stomach
no
for it?
way he goes one and done.
So what? He gets 2 years.
It'd have to really bottom out. There is no way. They spent too much money on him.
Right, but how? But okay, so say, what if it's 7-5, 8-4, 9-3? Is he still there?
Now, okay, that's 3 years. That's a maybe. There's no way he goes one and done. I would bet my life on it that he's not a one and done guy.
What if they go 6-6 this year?
They'd have to go 0-12 and have everybody be healthy the whole year for it to maybe happen.
You think that's what it would take?
I think they'd have to go 0-12 and they'd have to have everybody be healthy the entire year.
Listen, I'm just recklessly speculating here.
Okay, I'm gonna recklessly speculate on a couple names here. Sark at Texas. What if they don't make
that one?
I
love that one.
What if they don't make the playoff?
Toast. I'm not sure they like him to begin with. Speaking of don't like, me and Sark. Not a fan. Don't like that guy.
Nope.
Bully.
Don't like him at all.
Confirmed bad person. I also think. Sark, I hope you're listening. You're a bad guy.
But Elliot, pass that along to Sark.
Yeah, you
whisper
it in his ear. Dabo Sweeney.
He's on the list.
Has to be.
I don't think he can get fired, but he could say, you know what, he'll be like, oh, I'm sick of the way the game is evolved, and I'm just going to retire early. Oh, this is a great one from Donnie.
Now we're talking. Yeah,
this is a big one. Lincoln
call.
Riley.
Yeah,
Lincoln Riley at USC. I think they might be playoff or bust.
Kirk Ferentz.
What scandal would bring him down at this point of his career after everything he survived? How about Matt Rule?
Boy, I don't think Nebraska fans are ready for that conversation. Matt
Rule's just not working out, is he? Like 7 wins. That's not what they brought him there for.
19-19 through 3 seasons. That one would be a conversation. I don't think there are any Nebraska fans that want him out. Their recruiting has gotten better. They feel like there's more talent on the roster. But how long of more 7-6, 6-6? I don't know. They feel like this is one of the best coaches they've had in a while, and their talent is as good as it's ever been. At some point, that's got to show up on the field. Can I throw it out there just because I don't like the guy?
I'm listening.
Eli Drinkwitz, screw you, man.
I don't like him.
What a clown. Hey, come on. That guy's so full of it on everything. Like, enough, man.
Donnie's on with this one too. This is one that I would put I put my reputation on. Bill Belichick will not be at North Carolina next year.
Yeah. Not sure why they did that. Not a good idea.
They can't even like follow the rules of anything correctly. There are no rules and they're still breaking them. And they don't have a GM anymore. Like, it's bad. I think I'd be stunned if he's back at North Carolina next year.
I would agree. Pat Narduzzi at Pitt, the Nard Dog. I like Pat Narduzzi. It's been a while since Pitt's been anything to write home about. It's a pretty proud program. Put a lot of players in the NFL. Think about how good they were. Just go back to Kenny Pickett not that long ago. It's been rough last couple of years. So I actually like Pitt. Not on the basketball side because they take every ex-Cyclone that we don't want, but haven't been great. So
let's
they're on my radar.
I'm gonna go ahead and let's hit some comments real quick.
Yeah,
we did talk about Dion. I think the consensus is he has to walk away himself. I don't know if it could go bad enough or they would fire him. We had also another comment from, I'm just going to say Dragon Mania. There's some letters missing in there. If Campbell went one and done and Jimmy Rogers didn't work out and Campbell's a free agent, would you ever want him back? I feel like the answer that everybody settled on is no. How shocking is that?
I know. And there's hard to imagine, but it seems like plenty of bridges have been burnt. That Donnie Rickles, you're right.
Was it a mistake to add UCF and Cincy to the Big 12? In retrospect, it kind of feels like it. Although at the time, we didn't know the Pac-12 was going to break up the way that it did. But if we could do it over, I would have. I think there's too many teams in the league anyway. So it'd be nice to not have them.
What have they brought? I mean, with Houston, you get basketball, and now you've gotten football. Clearly, I mean, West Virginia was a great add, and I think they fit the mold of the Big 12 extremely well. And there's no argument really with, I would say, Utah, BYU, clearly. Arizona, great across multiple sports. Arizona State, not great at basketball, but like their football success in Dillingham is an awesome coach to have in this league. You could make the case for Colorado. Is there something that they're helping us all with out right now? Probably not.
Exposure.
I mean, that 9-win season was great. It's true. Dion is
people want to watch Dion, so I
true.
think he still brings eyeballs.
Look, I'm rooting for Colorado. I know their fans are the worst, and people don't like them generally. I have some allegiance there. They're an old Big 12 team. I'm not rooting against them, and I don't dislike them the way I think people trash UCF fans and strip mall Orlando. So,
Colorado was the worst road fan experience I've ever had.
I heard that from several different people who went, so it wasn't just you, unfortunately.
The fans and the nightlife, the nightlife, whatever, just the town of Boulder was not what I expected it to be.
You could get a Surfside 2 for $20. That's not a bad deal. Or 2 for $40. That's a good deal. It's not a good deal. This is what I had. Did you have anything else?
No, that covers it pretty well. I was just trying to write names down as we went. So I think what we're definitely, let's say, I mean, are you okay with Scott Frost?
Yeah.
Being on the list. All right. I will take
Dion. You threw Matt Rule on there, didn't you?
Yes. So our preseason list is going to be Scott Satterfield, Scott Frost, Dave Aranda, then Mike Norvell, Luke Fickell, Bill Belichick, Matt Rule, Dabo Sweeney, Shane Beamer, Steve Sarkisian, Brent Venables, Lincoln Riley, and Pat Narduzzi. That's the list I have.
I love it. I think we revisit it periodically. Week 1, 2, 3, we probably won't have a ton of excitement, but if something really bad happens to one of those teams, we can kind of update our power rankings for Cancun. I'm really looking forward to this. This is a great bit. It's always fun. We should also at some point set up what week will the first firing be? Week 8? Week 5? That's always a fun exercise as well. So, does doing this, listeners, help you get back in football mode? Keeney, has it helped you get back in football mode?
It's helped, man. I mean, This is the time of the summer where we're starved for it. We need it. We need it the worst right now.
And I didn't know this. Utah.
We have a nomination for Utah fans as worst. So, Matt, you went to Utah, didn't you?
I did. There were some fans around us that weren't super pleasant, but in general, pretty positive experience. I mean, their stadium is their campus is on the side of a mountain. It's very gorgeous. I would say their fans are okay. I would say with them, worse online than they are in person. No question. Colorado fans, I think it's the opposite. Okay online,
bad in person,
non-existent, but just actually bad people.
So, bad in person.
Yeah, that's too bad. Keenan, did you notice everything's a little bit late this year? Last year, I believe that Dublin game was the 20th, the 19th of August.
It was,
and this year it's not until the 29th.
With Iowa State not in it too, it's we don't. It's cool that it's gonna be there 1 week early, but it's not like we need to get super.
Yeah, it's the 26th instead of the 19th. So everything's kind of pushed back a week, which I think that must be to Labor Day being a little early, if I understand correctly. No,
We got
no,
TDM here.
No.
Calling it. Okay, I respect this. Calling their shot. Dave Aranda goes 9-3 and saves his job. I appreciate the bravado. I don't know if I agree, but I appreciate, I appreciate a good take. I really do.
Yeah,
so that's a good one.
I do. I mean, my counterpoint is DJ Lagway.
Okay, so I've got one more thing that was on my agenda. We're going kind of long. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to get to. I wanted to check in with you about the Twins and the Cubs. A little baseball.
Let's do it. Twins, rough 3 games. After getting a game over 500, they're right in the thick of it. They're 4 or 5 games out in our league, and they're like 2 or 3 games in the wild card. And vibes are pretty good. They spent at the deadline. They got a starting pitcher and 3 relievers, which is exactly what they needed. Their offense has been good. It's been scuffling a little bit as of late, but they're technically the top run scoring offense in the American League to this point. So don't blame them for not trying to pick up a bat during the deadline. They had a bunch of people after outfielders, and Ryan Jeffers is a really good catcher. And Keeney, they kept him, which I expected them to add, but also trade away a couple good position players to soften the blow. And they chose not to do that. So at least give them credit. I think their ownership is trying to earn some favor back because, I have been crazy critical of the poll ads, and I at least appreciate that Tom is willing to realize, like, hey, the American League stinks. The Twins are right in it. Let's get some help for the bullpen. Let's get a starting pitcher. Like, that's really, quite frankly, as Twins fans, our bar is pretty low. That's all we've been asking for. And it's so nice to actually get it. So, I don't know. I'm thrilled. We got to win some games, though. It's been a rough 3 days.
It was a good time for a baseball check-in, though, because I wasn't sure how much you're actually like watching them or if you're watching them at all day to day, but I did see that they are in the hunt in the American League. Cubs, I mean, I love what the Cubs did at the deadline, and I might be ready to jump all in. If we beat the Dodgers tomorrow and sweep them, I might just be all in. They've won 2 nights in a row. They beat Scooble tonight. I mean, Cubs are playing good ball right now.
They're hot right now. The Red Sox maybe the only team hotter? Like, they're playing well.
Pete Crow Armstrong on his way to possibly winning an MVP. Pitching staff should be a lot better now. Guys will hopefully get healthy too. It felt like a lost cause with the Dodgers doing what they did and going and getting Scooble, but then the Cubs beat them 2 nights in a row. So who knows?
Okay, hold on. Hold on. You just mentioned the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I think you meant to say Hitler.
Can you say that on YouTube? Will that get us?
I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe. Oh my gosh. Maybe we just got censored. Sorry, retracted. What is going on, Kitty? What are we doing? They're going to push fans for the first time in the history of modern sports into cheering for the owners in a lockout, rooting for us to not have a season. That's where we're all at, right? Like, have you seen the math? It's $1.1 billion in deferred salaries. 1.1 billion. That is obscene. You know what Ohtani makes this year? You know what he's getting paid?
It's not a lot. I know that because he deferred all his money.
$2 million.
There are loopholes.
$2 million.
Yeah, there are loopholes that need to get closed for sure. This is a delicate thing for me because the Cubs enjoy some of the same financial advantages that the Dodgers do. They don't spend as aggressively.
Right. I would argue that the same sort of hierarchy will exist once you make a floor. I want a cap, but I also need a floor. That floor needs to be set at $100 million. Probably 115. I think the Twins are like 115 or 20. I think you've got Cleveland and the Rays down in the 80s still. That floor needs to be higher. And Keeney, if whatever they set the floor at is exactly what the Rays will spend. Whatever they set the floor at is exactly what the Guardians will spend. That's what they're going to spend, right? They have got to cap it at the top end. There's no other league in professional sports where this type of insane behavior can go on. Could you imagine if in the NFL you could defer salaries 10 years down the road and push $1 billion in payroll 10 years clean off your books? Right? Like, there is no freaking way, right? No other sport can you do this except for baseball. And they have got to get a cap. They have to. There's just a hard cap. If we can do it in the NFL, why can't we do it in baseball? I don't understand why this is such a problem.
I get it. I know why it probably should be a thing. It would hurt the Cubs if that was the case, but it would hurt the Dodgers, and they do make it feel like a futile exercise trying to compete with them sometimes.
It's been 10 straight World Series winners that have been large market teams. And what you end up having is a class of about 5 or 6 teams that can pay the luxury tax. So every year the playoffs is really just a question of which one of those 6 teams is going to win. And I don't think that's great for the sport. The Dodgers don't need to win 8 straight World Series because they can defer $1.5 billion worth of salaries into the future. Like, at a minimum, loopholes like that have got to get closed. It's not great for the player. It's not great for the players either, because it's like a 4.5% interest rate, Keeney, on that amount. They would be better off taking the money they make now and put it in an index fund and make 7 or 8%. So don't argue that it's better for them. It's not better for them. What would be better for them is money they can get now and invest it, instead of have it be locked up 10 years away at only 4% interest. So, like, you can't even tell me it's great for them. Also, what are the Dodgers going to do in 10 years when they have to pay $600 or $700 million in payroll while paying their current roster? What, just have a payroll of $1.5 billion while everybody else in the MLB is at $1 million or $100 million?
Probably.
We can't let that can't be allowed.
They'll probably do it.
They'll
just do it. You know, they kind of shown time and time again. You know, we'll spend whatever we need to. I don't know.
I'm with it. I hear you that the owners need to spend more, right? Like, there are too many owners like, oh, I can't do that. Come on, we know what you're worth, but you cannot have one team doing what the Dodgers are doing with the way the rest of that sport is set up. Especially not when you look at the NFL, Keeney, and there's 32 teams and they all have the same cap.
Yeah, they all play by the same set of rules, and
correct.
Baseball doesn't all play by the same set of rules. You know,
even the NBA has, like, you can get, there's first and second aprons. Like, you can spend absurd amounts in the NBA. You know what you can't do? You have no contract flexibility. It restricts your trade access. It impacts free agency. I like how the NBA's done it, Keeney. If you want to spend $380 million in the NBA, guess what, you can. But there are severe consequences to doing so. And what are a lot of teams doing? Trying to avoid the second apron for that reason. Otherwise, you end up in what we call salary cap hell. That's okay if the Dodgers want to do that, Keeney, but they should be in cap hell, not able to say, it's okay, we'll sign you and then pay you $400 million in 10 years. That's not okay.
Let's finish on a light note, Matt. How do you feel about Toy Story?
Oh, the first one's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Still holds up. I wanted to shout out because I was reading some comments. Some talks about, because Donnie Rickles has Mr. Potato Head as his picture. All gas, no breakfast. Yep. Talking about, shout out to his son for getting some Toy Story toys for his birthday. And then there was a comment on here about who of the After Dark crew is which character. So Matt, we got a nomination for you as Woody. Matthias is Mr. Potato Head. Levi's Buzz Lightyear. I guess
Austin, you as the Slinky Dog is great. I
don't know. Okay, sure.
You could be Bullseye, but he's a horse who doesn't talk, and that doesn't quite work. The one that's the most accurate here, I think, is Levi as Buzz Lightyear. I think that's the one that really sings to me.
I just like the visual of, because I think Matthias shaved his head, so him as Mr. Potato Head is just a delightful thing to think about.
We were talking about this the other day. There is some incredible, like, random adult humor that's thrown in there. Like lines that you would not have gotten at Keeney as like an 8-year-old. What if you okay, there's like 3 that stick out in my mind. One is when Ham says, come on, let's
incredibly well.
Ham says, come on, let's go see how much we're going for on eBay. It's a great line that, like, 7-year-old me would not have understood. Another one is, the word I'm searching for, I can't say because there are preschool toys present. Great. That's very clever. Love it. There's also, I also think, a scene where Mr. Potato Head takes his mouth off and touches it to his butt a couple times.
Yeah.
Like in a kiss my ass motion, which again, when I was little, would not have gotten that. Now watching it with my kids, I'm like, oh my gosh, this movie is just hilarious. Like subtle little bits like that make me just. It's a perfect movie. It's the second one's great. The third one's awesome as well. 4 and 5, I didn't need one or either. I haven't seen either. I don't know if I ever plan to because the image after the third one in my brain, I feel so happy with what I know those three are. It's kind of like The Matrix. The first one's incredible, but if you watch the next two, you might just be pissed off forever.
I mean, those first two just hold up so well. Even that was
second one's great.
That was my favorite movie when I was probably 5 or 6 years old too. So because it would like me and my sister would pretend to be the toys, and then when mom and dad walk in the room, you sprawl out on the ground and don't move.
Oh, it's so fun!
Just classic stuff.
The army men going to spy on the toys they're opening. It
should be the car.
He is the car.
Okay.
Oh yeah, RC, the little. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Awesome. Love that we get to end in Toy Story. Like that's what a great moment to end.
Good stuff in the comment section there too. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, chat. All right, this is great. Kenny, going forward, Tuesday night's the plan.
That's the plan.
8:30 or 8:45. I'll have to yell at my kids. Hopefully, that's not a regular Tuesday night occurrence.
Bit of a moving target, but it'll be
that's right.
Roughly between 8:30 and 8:45. Tom the Stash Turner is Rex.
Yes, okay. Actually, that is. Thank you, Levi. That's actually it's a great call out. Who's Bo Peep? We can answer that later. Gambling content, obviously Iowa State content. Kenny, I want to do a little bit more like Big 12 content. I think that's very pertinent for our listeners. Not that we can't do some around the sport, but I'm hoping we can maybe even do like some clips. If we do like a little gambling segment, maybe that's something you and I can work on that we put out maybe, midweek or on Friday before the weekend. But I think we're going to have to be pretty meat and potatoes football heavy, Keeney, because there's a lot of new people on this football team. And it is going to take time. Not only that, offensive and defensive strategies that we have not seen before.
I did see a
even
comment
if Iowa State
earlier that was asking who between the two of us could name more players on the team. I think that would be a really funny,
oh man, what a bit that would be.
I think that'd be a funny bit for one of the next couple shows before the season starts. I think we go 1 for 1, and then as soon as one of us is stumped, that's the other one wins. I think that'd be a fun thing to do.
That'd be a great idea.
Jake is Sid, the neighbor. That's so funny. That's good stuff.
That is good stuff. We should do that next week. Just go back and forth.
Yeah, Jalen Rayner, Aiden Flora, but we'll get there. We'll get deep down too.
Chad Ekby on the team in our hearts,
allegedly.
Okay, we'll see you this time next week.
All right.